What's up, everybody? Welcome to podcast now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Silent Hill F yet again. I know I'm a couple days late to this, but I want to talk about those ESRB ratings because, holy dear God, I mean, I know you have people saying, oh, it just sounds like a Silent Hill game. It does, but at the same time, it also sounds quite extreme. And, there was also kind of the offshoot story of, this kind of reached the highest rating in Japan that you can actually get. And in terms of what they've done in the past, even Silent Hill 2 Remake was not rated as high. So this kind of is breaking new ground, at least over there. Over here in the West, it's been pretty consistent. A lot of these games tend to just get, M for mature ratings. But over there, they tend to get 15, like their equivalent, age 15, 16, 17, but not really ever 18. So this is the first one in the Silent Hill franchise that's achieved that ranking. And then as for the ESRB rating, people are right when they say, like, this could contain possible spoilers, and I guess the best way to convey it before we actually read it and potentially spoil it, because it gives scenarios. And so when the game comes out, if you see a character and they're in a certain situation, you might be able to tell the end result of that situation, if that makes sense. That's the only way I can see this being, a spoiler, but I do just want to throw it out there in case people want to go in completely blind. It being an ESRB rating, I think means it's generally safe. I don't think you have too much to worry about, but we are going to read it, and so just, I guess, be cautious here. So this is a survival horror action game in which players assume the role of a student confronting supernatural entities in a 1960s Japanese mountain town. From a third-person perspective, players explore the town, solve puzzles, interact with characters, and battle enemy creatures, examples being humanoid monsters, mutants, mythical creatures. Players use axes, crowbars, knives, and spears to defend against and kill enemy creatures in melee-style combat. Blood splatter effects occur frequently as characters are attacked. Several areas depict large blood stains in the environment and near corpses. Some enemy attacks can result in players' character getting impaled in the neck and/or getting their face ripped apart. Cutscenes sometimes depict gore and more intense acts of violence. A character burned alive inside a cage. A woman branded by a hot iron. Entrails and sinew displayed on serving platters in fantastical celebration/ceremony. A character sawing off her own arm. A character slicing off portions of a character's face during a ritual. Concept art depicts a nude mannequin-like character, which exposed buttocks and partially exposed breasts. The character appears in a creature-like form throughout the game. So definitely that ending. Definitely that last couple sentences. You see the difference, at least in my opinion, right? So they say cutscenes. Now, by the way, I mean, just the, if you fail a encounter with one of these enemies, you're going to get absolutely destroyed. And it certainly sounds like that girl is going to get completely crushed. So that is more gameplay. That is more, I guess technically you have choices in that, because if you never die or you die once or twice, you might not actually see all of the reasons that it got, an M rating. But those cutscenes one, that's what I was kind of saying earlier, right? Spoiler at the same time. I mean, like it is. It probably is, because it doesn't say which character, but so like the burned alive one, right? If we see a character in a situation near a cage, near fire, or something along those lines, kind of what the end result is, right? So in that way, it actually kind of is. But also, just to kind of like the reason I even wanted to make this video, like this is going to be, I think, pretty extreme. And it's just kind of another reason. Like, look, I play Silent Hill games for a variety of reasons, and the gore, and, that kind of like pushing it isn't necessarily like a top 5. But, in terms of right now and just getting excited for the game, I think this is kind of another reason to, at least for me, like this game seems, especially for those, I'll say this, right? Especially for those that have said, and I can respect it, that it doesn't really look like Silent Hill. And I've said this maybe before, even like in comments, I somewhat get what people are saying there, but ultimately I do think it gives off the vibes of being a Silent Hill game. I also think it's kind of too early. So to me, I'm cool with it. To me, I'm following it along with what it wants to be. But there's a degree of like me kind of understanding where they're coming from. But this hopefully should put some of that to rest, right? Because a lot of this stuff, again, like the joke of like, oh, well, this sounds like a Silent Hill game. Well, there you go, right? Like this definitely sounds, up that alley. And by the way, it having a rating in the first place, I'm not saying, because I've said before, it could maybe sneak into 2025. I think that's wishful thinking. It's most likely a 2026 game. I think that's the max, though, because it already having a rating. This game is not 2-3 years away. This game is probably within like 12 or so months away, if not sooner. So, like I said, maybe best case, it sneaks into like November, December. Probably doesn't, but again, that's why it's best case. And if it doesn't do that, maybe it comes out literally around now, next year. So I'm getting more and more excited. I think it sounds very extreme, very, it's probably going to put people through some stuff, and I think that's the whole point. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.